Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome on this Sunday morning to Watkins Glen International Raceway here in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York, just above Seneca Lake in the village of Watkins Glen, about 3 miles down the hill. Qualifying getting underway for our Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. First car out on course, man at the top of the points, reigning champion Paul Menard. Right there in the Pittsburgh Paints and Stains, number 3. Beautiful Ford Mustang. Working his way around. Oh, problems here for, looks like Masood in the T1. As we go back to watching Menard here. Menard, Andretti, Dreese, Dyson, Paterick, Masood, and Kaz Gralla. Kaz Gralla making an appearance with the series. First time in 2025. There's Kaz in the overplay Poncho Weaver Dodge Challenger. Last time we saw that car, it was a bright or neon green in color. Due to the 21 coming to a stop out on the racetrack, the full course caution is out. There you see him. Looks like that is at the exit of turn 1. Getting up into the S's here. See it off to the right. On board with Chris Dyson, the Jim Weed Ford Mustang. The GT cars will qualify after this group with the Trans Am machines. As you can see, we have bright sunshine out. And the good news, bad news for me, sitting in our broadcast booth, is it's a beautiful day out there right now. The sun is rising, and it's blaringly shining through the windows right here of our broadcast booth straight into my face. So it's difficult to see our monitor to actually see what's going on out on the racetrack. Literally sitting in our broadcast booth with sunglasses on, not because I think I'm cool, which I most certainly am not, but just because it's the only way you can roughly see the screen. Not sure what the problem is with Masood's car that's so challenging as far as removing it from the racetrack. Seems to be taking a minute or two to get him out of there. We can't see this angle what the story is over there. There's our booth. You can see the sun just blasting the front windows here. We're high up there to the far right, all the way down where those last 3 big windows are. Rolling around with Dyson. Nowhere near the speeds that he would be running through this section of the racetrack. Clock continuing to tick down. GT cars are lining up on the false grid. They'll be out next. Getting to look at Massoud's car. Not seeing any damage to it. There's Garalla's overplay. Backed number 2. Brightly colored this week. So the points coming into the race today, things got pretty interesting after Road America. Menard leads it by 673 over Adam Andretti and his top liner Camaro, 647. Tommy Dreese still alive in this thing, sitting back here in third. Amy Ruman behind him, and Chris Dyson has been on the move the last few weeks after having a couple of big crashes this year at Sebring and Lime Rock. Dyson putting together some wins, some top podium finishes, and Chris is up to 5th in the championship with Penteric, Matthew Brabham, who is not running the full season, Brent Cruz, Massoud, and Brandon Jones. But this really looks like it's going to be a fight between Menard and Andretti, as it has been all the way to this point. Those two taking turns leading the championship this year. Finally getting the 21 off the racetrack. Doing some cleanup there. And it looks like we're getting close to getting back at it. There's Adam Andretti, the number 17 Camaro, with the trench shoring Motul back number 8 of Tommy Dreese right behind him. That is second and third in our Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli point standings. Gralla. Kaz telling me yesterday this is the most fun race car to run. Not necessarily Pancho Weaver's Dodge Challenger, although that's a great one, but just a Trans Am car in general. Hearing the engines picking up speed a little bit, looking to see if our green is back out. It looks like it is. And we've got a little bit of time left for these guys to get in a quick lap. Have to get those Pirellis up to temperature in a hurry. Let's see if you can put in a good one. Now here comes Menard thundering up the front straightaway, so the session fully back at it. About, it's like they gave him a little extra time back. 8.5 minutes just about left in this one. Probably have time for at least 2, maybe 3 good laps. Gonna have to get some heat in the tires before you can really uncork it, since they've been idling around. Here's the bus stop, and Menard overshoots the turn in. So my guess is those tires weren't up to temp yet. And he smartly stalled it, fires it back up. And now he pulls out. Looks like he'll be behind Dreese. Not sure what happened there. It looked like he started to make the turn in, and then immediately went back to the left and coasted into the runoff there. Here's the boot. Adam Andretti climbing up out of it. right now at the top with a 152.007 in Pancho Weaver's car. This could be pretty interesting to see if these guys have some issue getting in a good lap. Adam coming to the line. He goes to number one, 146.499, so you can see those tires definitely coming up to temp. Tommy Dreesy moves to second with a 148.3. Penteric is the third, 151.016. Dyson, 146.338. He goes to number one. Menard, haven't seen him come across the line. I'm wondering if Paul Menard's having issues. We saw him have to fire that car up after it coasted into the runoff by the bus stop. And if that's the case, this could kill his qualifying session, forcing him to start deep in the Trans Am field, giving a huge advantage to Adam Andretti, who's right now on the front row with Chris Dyson. So it could be a major change in the championship story here today. On board with Chris Dyson here. That Jim Wheat onboard camera for you. Looks like he's working his way up out of the booth. There's Menard right there. But what's going on with him? Right now showing a 202.587. Trying to close in on Dreesy. Here comes Menard up onto the front straightaway. Let's see if he gets a good one in here. There's the Paul Menard we expected. 144.323. Car 3 is number one on the board for now. So not sure what happened there, but all is right in the Menard world until Chris Dyson crosses the line with a 143.965. The Jim Weed machine gets back to number one, but Menard on the front row. Giving you a little engine noise to get your Sunday morning going here as we catch up with Chris Dyson working his way around in the white and green Jim Wheat sponsored machine. Closing on 3.5 minutes left to go here. Chris down in the boot. Headed towards the heel. You come up over a rise out of the toe portion of the boot and into the heel here, which is the right. Takes you up the back side of the boot and reconnects you up here where the short course and the long course continue together right here. Dyson, as he comes out of the final corner, didn't seem like he was pushing as hard as he can. Now he's into it pretty good. Let's see, maybe he was just looking for a bit of a clean racetrack to give it a good run here. He is at the top of the board with a 143.9, and he's got good half a second on Menard, so maybe not feeling like he has to push all that much. Now Chris hustling through the bus stop. You could see that commitment on the turn-in. Well, that was strong. Through the carousel. Next up, just hang to the left. Run it down into the boot here. This is down what would be considered the laces of the boot. See our track map off to the left. You can see how that portion of the racetrack is shaped like a boot. There's the toe coming along the bottom of the boot. Come up over that rise we were talking about here. Set up for the heel right here, this tight right-hander. And you start again climbing up out of this boot and back up and out. Leaving 2 corners to the finish line. Here's the last one. Onto the front straightaway. You're going to drift all the way out to the wall here. See if Dyson improves. Doesn't look like it. But he's still quickest. Andretti moves to number 2. 144.310. He's 100th of a second quicker than Paul Menard, and that's the difference between the first and second row. And there sits Menard on pit lane. Here's Dyson going into the bus stop, not nearly in the attack mode that he was before, so he's done. Clock is about done too, just 5 seconds or so left. Here's Kaz Gralla. He's improved to a 147.217. He's going to start 5th. So that'll take care of the session for the big Trans Am machinery. Dyson will take the pole. Andretti next to him. Row 2 will have Menard on the inside. And here we go. Let's run it through for you now. Dyson, 143.965 on the pole. Adam Andretti, 144.310, 100th of a second quicker than Paul Menard. Adam gets outside row 1, Menard inside of row 2. He'll have Dreesy alongside of him. So the top 3 in the points are 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Kaz Gralla making his first appearance with the series this year will start 5th. David Pinteric is 6th. And Masood, who made Masood, starts 7th after having some mechanical issues here in the qualifying session. Second part of the session coming up right after this break as we come back live to Watkins Glen International Raceway. Stay with us.
up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. To you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
And we are back here at Watkins Glen as we begin the session now for the GT cars. That's Grant in the 55, Porsche 911, GT3. There goes Carlson. Watching Carlson here. Making his way around. Headed towards the front straightaway. Carlson in SGT, the Enceva Mustang. He's had a really good year. Joshua Carlson and that Enceva Dierks Limited TC Fab Ford Mustang is on a 7-race win streak dating back to Circuit of the Americas last year. He's won every race, all 6, that he's competed in 2025. You see James Beaton at Manotick, Ontario, Canada. The Playtime Hot Rods and Motorsports Chevy Corvette. Black front, yellow rear. And Beaton right now, 4th, 211, 487. He's running in XGT. We have 2 SGT competitors, Carlson and Milton Grant. Grant in the 991. And then we have, well, actually 3 SGT category cars. Mason is in there as well. Carlson. And then James Beaton running XGT. Ray Mason just in front here of Beaton in the all-black Mustang. The Alloy Employer Services Ford Mustang from Columbus, Ohio. There he is right there. Mason right now, 3rd quickest in SGT. Carlson leads the SGT points over Milton Grant. Grant 2nd, and Mason is 4th in the SGT points. And Patrick Udd is not here, so Mason with a good chance of maybe moving up closer to 3rd in the standings. Carlson's going to be awful hard to catch. There you see Grant, Milton Grant in that 55. The 145 points to the 380 of Joshua Carlson. on that incredible win streak that Carlson is on. It's a big hole to climb out of. Over in XGT, Kaylee Bryson leads that one, 261 to Paul Tracy's 177, but we haven't seen PT in a few weeks. We weren't unfortunately expecting to see him run all season. Danny Lowry is third, Mustafa Bakir fourth, and Austin Hill fifth. The only XGT competitor here is James Beaton, not seen in the top 5 of those points, so we shouldn't see any change there. No GT cars here this week. Chris Coffey leads the points there, 402 to Mike Fitzpatrick's 65. And no GT1 cars this week, where John DeGainer leads 175 points over Rob Dickey's 115. Again, watching Grant here. He's got a 201.663. Let's see if he improves on that. Carlson, very quick with a 151.198, number 1 right now of the SGT competitors. There he is. Down into the boot. You see how it bottoms out there and it starts immediately to climb up here. Climbing, climbing, climbing. Then you crest over the hill as you come out of the toe in this area here, and it's downhill and a deep braking zone into the heel right here. Now you're climbing once again, so you can get hard on that power coming out the exit of the heel up the hill here to the left-hander and out of the boot. Beaton has climbed up the Corvette on the move all of a sudden to a 155.783. James Beaton in that Playtime Hot Rods and Motorsports Chevy Corvette has found his rhythm. 155.783 goes the second quick of all the GT cars. Carlson making his way onto pit road. Why not? There's only 4.5 minutes to go, and you've got a comfortable 4-second gap on everybody as far as getting the pole in the GT cars. This is Ray Mason right here in that Ford Mustang. He sits third with a 159.625. Let's follow him around for a minute. And looks like Mason's going to make his way to pit lane as well, inside of 4 minutes remaining. Beaton continues to lap. He's going out for another one. Carlson and Mason on pit lane. Grant still out on the racetrack. Watching the big Corvette thunder around here. Coming up out of the S's, flat out through here. Get ready now for the turn into the bus stop. Full commitment here. Utilizing the curbing. See that vet belching flames out the side. C6 bodied machine looks like. There goes Grant. And hearing that Corvette getting ready for the tow. Waking up the countryside around here in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York. Beautiful, beautiful setting for a racetrack. Inside of 2.5 minutes remaining here. Carlson, Beaton, Mason, and Grant. That's the order. Beaton back into turn one, still that 152.9. And you are flat out up through the S's. Although it looks like he is backed off a little bit. Minute 30 to go, so he's probably good with that 152.9. Puts him second. And, of course, he is the fastest of the XGT cars since he's the only one here. Yep, definitely not attacking the bus stop this time. Rolling through the carousel. Hopefully we'll get to see Beaton again, since he's from Ontario, Canada, and we are going to be headed to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park up in Mossport here shortly, just outside of Toronto. That's our next stop for the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. So here's a look at the results. Joshua Carlson continuing his dominance of the class, 151.198. He will be the number one qualifier in the GT category with the SGT pole as well. James Beaton, the only XGT competitor, will start second in the category, but he's number one, of course, for XGT, 152.936. Then Ray Mason and Milton Grant. Grant involved in that points fight with Joshua Carlson. Grant, second in the standings, is going to start fourth today in the category with a 201.663. And we're going to take a quick break here as we get Beaton and the rest of the cars off the racetrack. Stay with us. Coming back for more from the Glen.
Yes. Hon, the WeatherTech's here.
WeatherTech is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Laser measured floor liners, no drill mud flaps, cargo liner, step, seat protector, and cup phone.
What about my car?
WeatherTech.
Hawk Performance packs 100 years of friction dynamics in every product. Backed by Carlisle Brake and Friction, the world's premier innovator of industrial brake friction components, Hawk leverages R&D tools and motorsports experience to deliver uncompromising performance on the street. There's no reason to settle for less. Choose pads that are race proven and street legal. Find the Hawk Performance brake dealer near you at hawkperformance.com.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance, priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Well, this is the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. So here I am in the Pirelli tent. And what we want to do right now is kind of walk you through the process. So Amy Ruman has been nice enough to drop off 4 used sets of tires or a beautiful Forge Line wheel. And then the Pirelli guys, they all hopped up like they know what they're doing. He's X'd them out. And he basically is the one that's going to mark this and tell them they just turned in 4 tires. They're going to get 4 new tires, and he invoices them. No money is exchanged here at the track. See, he's writing her number here, the number 23 on that beautiful red McNichols Corvette. He's basically, all they're doing is stacking it up with the fronts and the rears. They move down through here. You can see that this is the left front. This is the right front. And now they're coming in here to the dismount. Now these are the Forge Line wheels. They put them on here. This thing comes in, takes the bead. You can see it. It's about to take the bead and basically squish the tire down. And then they run it through. And you can tell the muscle memory of these Pirelli technicians is unbelievable. This is a lot harder and more difficult than they make it look, as now they're basically coming through to dismount the tires. You can hear everything is through their air compressor. Now they're taking it off the bead. And they've got it fully dismounted. So there is the old tire, and now they put the new tire on. This is the lubing. They just kind of lube the bead, and I did hear that they have to put more lube on the bead for the TA2 tires than on these TA Forge Line wheels tires. And now they're mounting the tire. Obviously, with the muscle memory that's happening right now with these Pirelli technicians, they've done this thousands of times, I would say. So now they come up here to inflation. And the first thing that the inflator will probably, one of the first things, so they've got these little innards that go inside the valve stem. You can see that. That's what you're pushing when you have to put air into the tires or out of the tires. That goes in. He's airing it up. And you can see this part, I guess, gets kind of dangerous. You don't want your fingers in there when the bead pops that we just heard. And then just in case, put a cage around this. And then how many pounds, the first time you inflate, how many pounds are you putting in?
We're going to find out. It's about 50.
50 pounds, okay. So basically, you put it up to 50 just to get the beads to pop, and now you bring it down to whatever, 30. Okay, so they're going to do 30 pounds, and then it comes down here to balance. And balance is kind of, not that this isn't a science anywhere, but the balancing is really one of those critical aspects of this, because then the car won't shake or vibrate, and the drivers will feel a lot better. If a tire goes out of balance or a wheel goes out of balance, that can really mess them up. This is the balancer, and this is a computer generated, and it rotates itself, and then it'll tell them where to put the weights. It'll tell them where to rotate and then what weights they need where. So there's the green mark on the tire. And what is it telling you which weights to put where?
So each one of these is a quarter ounce. It's asking for 2 ounces, so you're going to have 8 total. That arrow right there indicates top dead center, which is right here.
Okay. So the green arrow tells the top dead center, and he's putting the weights in there. Then he's going to do it again and see if it passes. Have you ever had a perfectly balanced wheel and tire without weights?
Yeah, it happens from time to time.
That's kind of like a lucky strike. 3 cherries at the slot machine. So that looks good. That passes, balanced. And now it comes out here, the number 23, and they'll keep the tires together, but then they'll stack them out here. So let's watch this balancing process one more time, because it is pretty neat to watch. So they've got these, looks like these are quarter ounce. So I'm holding right here then 1 ounce of wheel weights. Then they've got this very sticky double-sided underneath, and then they have to be flexible, obviously, because they go inside the rim and then they do everything they can to make sure all the weights are on the inside and not the outside. You know, on your street car, you might have weights that are clipped or adhered to the outside, like meaning what you can see, but the Pirelli, they try to do everything to the inside. So now it's just going around, and I guess the computer device is feeling where it's out of balance.
Exactly, yeah. It's got a sensor inside that can feel the heavy side of the tire.
Well, look at that. I can sense it. I just gave you 1 full ounce right there. And now you're looking for the green arrow for top dead center.
So we'll line that up.
That's pretty amazing. So then after balancing, they line them back up here, and then it's at the team's leisure to come and pick them up whenever. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Unless they are having to wait for them if it's like a race set or something like that, and we're holding them to be released for the time of a race.
So that is the Pirelli. That's the whole process. I've heard that there's been weekends a few years ago at Sebring. They went through 1,300 tires total with IGT and with the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. This week they're going to go through about just over 600 tires, and they've got the assembly line working. We're kind of early on. This is just kind of test and practice sessions. But as the weekend progresses, we might see more and more tires rocking through here. But that's how Pirelli does the Pirelli tires for the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. A great marketing partner to have in the series. They're doing so much R&D for us, and hopefully we're doing the same for them. It's kind of a mutually beneficial relationship, but that's kind of the assembly line here at Pirelli.
Welcome back to Watkins Glen. Eddie Fuhrer joining me here in the booth now. Ralph Shaheen with you. Eddie, tell us a little bit about the FRP category we're going to see now.
We're going to see the F1600 cars competing. This is always a very exciting one. So much close racing. No rear wings on these cars, so no downforce. There's going to be a lot of passing. There's going to be a lot of very tight competition. The pole sitter in this race, Timothy Steele, making his first race weekend appearance of 2025. He was second in the championship in 2024, and he is on pole. He was leading yesterday's race on the final lap and got passed by 2 cars. So he was saying yesterday, usually you want to be the first place car going on to the final lap, and that's not all the case in a category like F1600.
What's the key to being quick in one of these F1600 cars? I'm assuming momentum.
Yeah, you want to have momentum, and you also want to have a few friends, be able to coordinate, especially in qualifying, be able to know who you can race behind, know who you can be in the draft with. It's part of the reason why Aaron and Gabe Kahn are leading the championship, is they just work so well together on the track.
Looks like the lights are off on the pace car. And that's a complete guess due to the glare. Everybody rolling out onto the front straightaway. Eddie, they're going to fan out wide as we head to turn number 1. Already starting as the green comes out. 4, 5 wide, back deeper in the field. Now you got to figure out where you're going as you come to 1. Find a hole, slot in behind somebody. Headed into the S's. It gets more and more narrow as you progress your way through these S's here, Eddie.
Yeah, as they come through, a good start by the number 11 car. That is Gabe Kahn. He is looking to get right behind Timothy Steele. Already has made a move on Cooper Travis. We'll see what Gabe Kahn has for Steele going down to the bus stop.
And let's see who has the most aggressive line going into the bus stop. Looks like we're going to go 2 wide in a couple of spots. 3 wide. Oh, boy, that gets crazy down in there. Be careful of the contact. Trying to get each other room. There's been a change for the lead. Is that Travis now to the front?
That is Gabe Kahn going to the front, getting past Steele. Travis sitting right behind in 3rd place. So we have a freeway fight for the championship in F1600. Gabe Kahn in that 11, one of those cars, and then those other 2 cars in the fight sitting in 4th and 5th place right now is Gabe's brother Ayrton Kahn and then Wesley Gundler. All 3 of those drivers have been on the podium in a majority of the races so far this season, and they are usually the ones to watch it for. But Steele and Travis looking to play spoiler.
Look at all the dust getting kicked up back here as we come out of the toe of the boot. Not sure if somebody is off and back on or off.
Bit of a breakaway forming between these top 3 cars.
Well, that's kind of what they want to do right now, right? Work together and get away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, we saw that a lot in America, the perils of kind of sitting behind at the top of that second pack. If you fight too much, you let some of those lead cars get away.
Look, you can see the cars move around, a lot of brake smoke as we go down into turn number 1. Of course, with no rear wing, no aero, there is no downforce really on these cars.
Yeah, not really, and you're going to see as they get out of the S's what kind of run can Timothy Steele hook up here in second spot. As heading to the outside, heading down into the bus stop, it's going to be Travis looking for the move on Gabe Kahn. Gabe Kahn's going to stay ahead as they head through the bus stop. And build out a bit of a cushion to Travis and Steele behind. As they head into the boot, it is Gabe Kahn in front. Travis hanging out there in second, looking for his first win of the season.
And Dustin Hodges joining us in the booth as well to add some more color commentary to our race call here. Dustin, looks like we got another burner going on here.
Oh yeah, I couldn't get enough of this F1600 racing. Sorry I was a little late. I didn't realize you guys were on track, so it's running up those stairs there for a minute. But yeah, just this F1600 stuff is so exciting. I thought I'd come check it out with you guys, get a bird's eye view, watch these guys battle it out again. It's always close racing.
Coming up out of the heel of the boot. They didn't break away for long, did they, Eddie?
No, they got right back to, it looks like they're battling with 6 or 7 cars in that front. It looks like 7 going back to David Adorno in the 33, so that is quite a healthy group as they come out in the final corner.
This might be a 10-car freight train here momentarily.
See Gundler peeking out, looking for 4th spot. A bit of a lockup from Adorno.
Yeah, seeing a lot of that going into 1. These guys taking it so deep down into the corner. And when you're worrying about momentum, Dustin, you really, so tricky on the brakes, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, especially downhill into turn 1. You know, the car is not wanting to do anything you want it to do at that point. So you're really fighting every aspect. And yeah, you know, that little lockup is probably going to get him. You know, you can see he's kind of getting shuffled back a little bit here on the run up the hill after that. But then he makes me eat my words and makes a pass. So
fantastic for Cooper Travis up into the lead. Cooper Travis, really, the team is just him and his dad building those cars. It's about as small of an operation as you can get, and this is their first season doing open wheel racing.
Yeah, he has almost no experience of doing hardly anything, and he's running at the front of this field. It's extremely impressive.
Yeah. Well, and what he really seems good at, guys, is race strategy. He is not doing too much, too fast, too hard. He's being patient, finding his holes, working what draft he can, making some good moves here and there. And he's worked himself from what, to first, right, Eddie?
Yep, and he's going to have 2 cars right behind him as you see Gabe Kahn going back for the lead. And Wes Gundler now going side by side, but those 2 cars, Kahn and Gundler, both with big teams that have a lot of resources and a lot of support. And those 2 are both fantastic drivers, but definitely dealing with a very different setup than Cooper Travis is.
And again, that was a smart move by Travis. He knew he was going to have the inside at the next corner. He waited just a second, gave it a little more blip of the throttle, pulled up in front, reclaimed second solidly.
Knowing when to fight and where to fight. There's a lot of maturity behind that wheel there.
Absolutely. Now let's see what they do headed into 1 this time. Who's going to lock him up this time down into 1?
See Gundler peeking out.
You see the cars just dancing on the brakes. That rear end just wanting to come around on them.
Flat out through the S's, crawling up the hill. The next big question is, how much commitment do you have turning in at the bus stop? And it is commitment, isn't it, Dustin?
Oh, yes. How deep are you willing to go? And do you want to protect? Apparently, Khan decides to protect. It is very impressive. I've noticed this after lap here. Khan seems to get a 2 to 3 car gap almost coming out of most of the corners. The pack catches him every time, but he seems to be able to break away a little bit on that exit speed. He's got something figured out.
You also notice with the bigger Trans Am cars, they're really attacking those curbs in the bus stop here. These guys pretty much staying off of them.
Yeah, same with the Formula cars I have under my tent. We've kind of told the guys these new curbs they have here are a little aggressive. Yeah, the TA cars can kind of bounce off them a little more. But these guys, it upsets the car a lot. The bigger the curb, sometimes they're pretty nice and you can use them, but it's, most of the tracks we go to where the bigger cars run, especially NASCAR tracks, the curbs are a little large for these cars.
I'm noticing three of the top 4 cars right now, Gabe Kahn, Wes Gundler, and Cooper Travis, all rookies in the series.
Wow.
Inside of 14 minutes remaining as we come back out onto the front straightaway. Kahn, Travis, Gundler, Steele, Adorno, your top 5.
Steele's going to poke out going into 1. Travis going to follow him.
You must get a fair amount of turnover in this series, Eddie, with so many of these drivers being young, maybe this being their first step in the ladder on their way up to hopefully fulfilling a dream of IndyCar or who knows what. So you got to have a healthy group of rookies each and every year.
Yeah, it's always a lot of our top competitors. I guess you can compare it to college basketball a bit in the one and done. Usually you'll have some guys who will just come in and they'll be really, really talented and they'll run up near the front and then they'll just jump up to the next level. And I can definitely see some of the guys at the front here, like Gabe Kahn, like Wes Gundler, being guys who are definitely going to be on the radar of some of those junior teams going into 2026.
A little deeper in the field here, Eddie.
Yeah, I think we are looking at some
Kahn in the red car there. No, that's the 21.
Dave Petsko.
So that's all the way down in 20th.
Yeah, looking at some of the Masters class. As you can see, Gundler has gotten past Gabe Kahn for the overall race lead.
And you talk about the Masters category, you tend to think of when you look at these F1600s, it's going to be the younger kids on the ladder moving up, trying to, like you said, be one and done or in and out of the series as quick as they can. That Masters category, those guys, veterans, they just love racing these cars.
Oh, they love racing it, and they've been, racing them for many, many years. And I think that's just what makes F1600 so fantastic, that you have such a wide variety of drivers. And a lot of them, David Orno in that 33 has been a guy who's consistently run the top 10 and the top 5 all year. So those Masters drivers can put up quite a good of a fight.
Dustin, I know this is a big stretch to compare, but to me, this F1600 category, the guys that run in those master cars, they're so into an F1600, they're kind of like guys who are into Class 11 buggies in off-road racing, the
100%.
Volkswagen Beetles.
Absolutely.
I mean, they just love that particular car and how it is as a pure racing machine.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, some of these guys have had these cars for decades. I mean, David Livingston Jr. went to driver's school with me in 1997.
And you're an old guy.
I just kind of dated myself there, but yeah, it's and he's been running Formula Ford since then. So it's these guys really know these cars. They spend a lot of time with them. Even the other guys with Kawasaki and Adorno and these guys, that you go through the whole list, and these guys, this is their golf, this is their boat, this is their fun weekend, and yeah, they spend a lot of time to really work on it over the years.
Is the fact that these cars don't have a lot of technology in them, as far as there's no aero really to work with or anything like that, that an older chassis can still be competitive?
Yeah, I think that's one of the big reasons. I think also the rules package is pretty tight, so there hasn't been a lot of jumps in modifications of style and shocks and aero. There's always people trying new things, but yeah, like I said, we were talking a couple weeks ago, there's cars, going back to the early 90s that are running out here. I'm not sure if there's a Swift out here in the field this weekend, but they are out there and they're competitive. But even some of these cars are 15, 20 years old. And yeah, it's a testament to the class that you don't have to always be buying that brand new equipment to be able to stay competitive, that you can buy something you can relatively afford, run it yourself, work on it out of your garage, and you can still, come up here and compete with these future stars.
Just about put it in the back of your pickup to get it to the racetrack.
Pretty close. You need a very small, you can have a small pickup or a family minivan and put it on a little open trailer, and you'd be good to go.
Open trailers, the best, right?
It's the way it used to be. It's the way it was, It's you see pictures of F1 teams with open trailers back in the day, and
yep,
definitely a different world.
Still got that big freight train at the front here. Eddie, these guys are not getting away from each other with just 9 minutes left to go.
Yeah.
Yellow out?
Yellow out. But they are...
Looks like local for now.
Yeah, it looks like local. Yeah, they're still going. So, it's Gundler and then Steele, and in two very different situations. Because Gundler is fighting for a championship. Steele is racing this weekend as a one-off. So, Steele really has nothing to lose by going for the win here.
Well, these guys got to be careful about that because, yeah, like you said, he can take more risks, right? If you're looking for those championship points, you can't always. Got to be on the lookout for those one-off guys. At the same time, Steele has run a lot of these races. He's, been quick at a few other tracks. Last year, he was running a lot more. I think they know each other a little bit. And some of these guys, they're all pretty respectful out there.
And we have the full course yellow coming out.
And there it is. No word yet as to why, where the incident might be. Haven't seen anything.
Well, if the results hold, the difference between Ayrton and Gabe Kahn going into this weekend was 8 points. Ayrton was able to build up that gap by winning. There it is.
That's Dunbar? That
is Michael Dowden in the Brian Graham racing car.
Is there more than 1-0?
That is the one, it looked like.
Yeah, the 0 and the 1 would both be the Brian Graham cars, Dowden and Dunbar.
Yeah, we got the team right anyways. I was waiting to see who comes across the line. Very well could have been Dunbar because he has dropped down the order. Yeah, I feel safe to say that it's Callum Dunbar, and you were right, it was the 0. Getting the teammates confused. But yeah, Gundler leading. And as I was saying, Gabe Kahn might be able to pull back a few points on his brother Ayrton after Ayrton was able to pick up a sizable points haul by taking the win in race 1.
Well, that's be a good points day for Gundler as well, with Steele in between him and the Kahns. That kind of helps give him a little buffer there on the points.
Yeah, entered this race just over 30 points back.
Still a lot of racing this season. But
yeah, we go NJMP and then Summit Point.
Right.
And we'll see you guys in New Jersey.
Yep.
That'll be a track that'll be similar to this, that long front straightaway there in New Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Should see a lot of drafting taking place there. Dive bomb moves going down into turn 1. Dustin, tell everybody a little bit about your program and how people can get involved with you if they decide they want to come try out some racing, whether it's 1600s or one of the other categories you're involved in?
Yeah, we offer all kinds of racing, pretty much any skill level, any age. If you've decided that this is something you want to give a shot, we have almost 20 cars in our shop in Indianapolis. We run about 30 weekends a year in different series, including FRP and vintage racing as well. And if you want to get behind the wheel of an open wheel car, a GT car, or a sports racer, whether you want to rent one from us or you want to buy one and just have us take care of it and work on it, whatever you want to do, we can get you behind the wheel and help you scratch that itch to become a race car driver.
And that's the Arrive Drive program.
That's right. Arrive Drive Motorsports, Instagram, Facebook, website, all that good stuff. And or you can, like I said, find us at a track. We're pretty much on the road all the time. We were at a track last weekend. We'll be at a track next weekend. It's pretty much all we do.
Sounds familiar. You got a racer rate for Eddie and I so we can get behind the wheel?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think you guys should do some endurance racing in our Porsche, actually. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I'd be up
you
for
guys,
that.
You know? Yeah.
Don't have to ask me twice. Eddie, I think we're going to get that car off just in time, Dunbar's ride.
Yeah.
We should have about 4 minutes of racing left to go.
They've got that pulled off.
That was quick.
These guys are going to get the elbows up and sharpened pretty fast, aren't they?
It's going to get wild pretty soon.
Oh, yeah. All that of, you can't win the race at corner one is going out the window right now.
Well, this corner one might be exactly where you win it, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, here we go. Strap in, everybody. Hang on. Getting ready to come to the green. Inside of 4 minutes to go, so we're back at it here at the Glen.
Look at that jump from Steele.
Incredible move by Steele in the blue car, the number 7 to the inside. And he's got Kahn right behind him in the 11. Good move by Kahn as well.
Yeah, that's the experience of Timothy Steele. He was P2 in the championship last year, coming into effect here.
And you can't push that pedal further into the floorboard than they have it right now.
Nope.
Charging through the S's, down the straightaway, and starting to think about the bus stop.
We'll see Gabe Kahn duck out here.
Free wide. Look at that. Four wide. As we're going into the bus stop. Hang on, don't touch tires.
It was Gundler who came out on top there.
Gundler in that 46.
I think that Timothy Steele entered that corner into lead, and he came out in 5th.
Well, that's betting everything on 7 at that point, isn't it? Just, I'm coming in. Look out. Down into the boot. Here's the toe. Bottom of the hill. Now you're climbing back out. Up, and up you go. So you get right up about here, and you crest over the hill. Now it's back downhill. Let's see how good you are on the brakes as you get into the heel here. But you can go deep into this corner, Dustin, because of the little bit of banking there.
Oh, yeah, the banking definitely helps on going through the boot. And that was a very deep on the brakes job there. Was that Kahn, I think, I did not think he was going to make that corner.
Back out of the boot, headed towards the front straightaway. 2 minutes to go. This will probably be the last lap.
Yeah, we're either on the final lap or the second to last. We'll see.
Let's see if we get a white flag
we
here.
Do?
Yep, we do. White flag, 1 to go. Coming down to turn 1. Steele has moved all the way back to 5th, from the lead to 5th. That's how quick it changes here in this category.
And we saw a last lap pass for the win here yesterday in F1600.
Best spot to do that would be going into the bus stop here.
Let's see who's going to be the bravest.
3 wide at the front. Side by side going into the bus stop, and we're going to have a change again.
Yeah, that's Gundler going to the lead.
Gundler taking the lead away. So now, Dustin, if you're Kahn sitting there in 2nd, you're heading into the boot. Not a lot of great spots left to make a pass. Maybe at the heel?
Yeah, I'm thinking, the 180's hard to make a pass at. It's such a wide line going in there. He's very defensive, you can see.
Get a good run through
right
the toe.
Here. Yep.
You set yourself up for the boot, though, now.
Yep. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I think you're right. I think going in here, But again, Gunler's on the inside. He's going to defend. I don't think he's
Look at that move. Kahn on the outside, but then Gunler dives deep on the inside at the heel. There's some extra racetrack there you can use, and just like that, brilliantly executed.
Fantastic move.
That might be all it takes. Kahn back to the front. One corner left to go in the run to the checkers. Here we come. Kahn, Gunler, Travis, Kahn, and Steele running to the line. And nothing's going to change. Kahn's going to get the win. Gunler will take second. Travis third. Ayrton Kahn in fourth. And Steele gets fifth.
That is win number 5 on the season for Gabe Kahn, leading all F1600 drivers.
He's having a heck of a year.
It's on a good championship run there. That was an impressive last lap. Those guys were, if you guys noticed this, they kind of interlocked wheels almost going through those last 2 corners. That was some serious racecraft from some 2 really mature drivers there.
Yeah, a lot of trust in each other.
Oh, yes.
And I'm really impressed with Cooper Travis. He's going to stand on the podium for the 2nd time this year.
Absolutely. Once again, the privateers taking it to the big teams again here.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations, Travis. That's a good showing.
I know when I was talking to Cooper's family, he was saying, you know, when it came out first 2 weekends, as there's their results, you're just trying to get the car set up was the hardest part.
Yeah, anybody you buy a car from, or any builder or any team or whatever, they'll give you a basic setup to get you started, but they're not going to give you their best stuff, right? You got to kind of figure a lot of that out on your own.
So, Eddie, that's it for FRP with us this weekend. Next up is New Jersey.
Yep, New Jersey is next, and Gabe Kahn taking the overall win here, and David Adorno taking the Masters win.
And which categories will we see with FRP in New Jersey?
We will see the same ones we saw here. We'll have F2000, Formula Atlantic racing together, and then F1600.
Sounds like a great weekend. Looking forward to it. And with that, we'll go ahead and take a quick commercial break, step away just for a second, take care of some business, and we're coming back to the Glen.
How good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn, 140-mile-an-hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the V-Box HD2 system.
Said. One of the ways you overtake here at Sebring is really good in the braking zone, like this one right here.
Both go around. There's the green. We are back and at it. Watch this. Oh, look out. Miller, look
What's up, guys? It's Sam Corey here. We're here at Watkins Glen having some fun. It's really cool. I've never been here before, so this is my first time here. Obviously, rolling off. We're decently quick, so we got to find some pace, but it's all good. It's a driver's track for sure. There's high commitment, since, you know, it's a high commitment track. So, you know, it's got a lot of grip. You know, it really likes when you're highly committed through the bus stop and getting through there and using the curbs. And, you know, it's one of those tracks that you really just go all out and you really drive the crap out of these cars. And that's what's fun, is ragging these cars to the edge. So, but yeah, it's a really cool place. Ooh, favorite corner. The boot's fun. And, you know, going up that hill, because you can brake super late going into the heel of the boot. You brake super, super late and you rip your downshifts, and then you can really crack power early because you're going uphill, so it slows you down, but it's super fun. I mean, the bus stop's fun because your minimum speed's 100 miles an hour. You know, you're going fast, you're jumping curbs, you know, it's just, you're ragging it. So it's a really cool place. So it's funny, you know, I grew up kart racing, and I raced against Nitro, and we were against each other. We were rivals. And walking into the shop when I first signed with these guys, it's like, man, I never thought I'd ever be putting on a Nitro Motorsports t-shirt. But here we are. You know, they're a great group of guys, a great team. I mean, they do a top job. They work harder than anybody I know. You know, my guys, Mark and Petey, Bird at home. I know you're not here this weekend. He got hurt, but, you know, they're still here working after the day's been over for a couple hours now. So, and they're going to be here, you know, working all night. So, you know, this is where it really starts. I just get to drive it. You know, I get to have the fun and go out there and drive the car. But these guys put in the hardest work, and they work as a team. They work together, and that's really where it starts, is me and my crew chief, Mark Durgan. We call him Doc. Me and Doc, you know, being able to come together and work on our race car and just get faster. Having that communication is key. But, yeah, these guys work harder than anybody I know. These gnats are going to kill me, though. Yeah, it's difficult because, well, one thing it's good because we have great data, right? We can look at each other's data. We can get faster. That's how we can beat some of these other teams, and we can help each other get quicker. You know, it's also difficult when you're racing against each other for the win. You don't really think about, oh, well, he's my teammate, I can't do this or that. You're just going for it. So, you know, there's that level of understanding that, okay, he's my teammate, not going to do anything stupid here. But also at the same time, it's the gloves are off and you're going for it. So being able to balance that is good. But also it's helpful when you're struggling, because you can look at each other's data, you can go through that, go through their video, and you can help each other out at the same time. So your teammates off the track and friends, it's all good. You're smiling at each other, but when that visor goes down, it's every man for himself. Yeah, so, you know, with these things, we have a love-hate relationship, right? You know, you're driving the crap out of them. You're using every inch of the racetrack. You're just going for it. And, you know, but you got to take care of it. We're a 100-mile race. It's a long race. You got to take care of the tires. You know, there's a little bit of fall off, you know, especially if you're sliding them around and you're making them mad. You got to take care of them a little bit. But at the same time, you're 10/10ths. You're going for it. You're driving hard. You're trying to win. You know, the thing about these race cars is they like to be driven hard. There's no, I'm going to baby it through here and save that. There's no saving. It's go, 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 go. So, you know, I'm fortunate that I live 25 minutes from the shop, so I can go up there with the guys and, you know, build that morale and kind of work with everybody. And, you know, I don't know about these as much as some of these guys do. I come from totally different kinds of racing, but, you know, especially being able to go to the shop and I can learn more about the race car, how everything works, how it's put together, you know, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's just, we drive the crap out of them, but especially when we win, it's always a good thing. Yeah, so I started, you know, on the IndyCar path. I did USF Pro Championships, did USF Juniors, USF 2000 for 2 years. Dang near won the championship last year. You know, so coming from that kind of world, you know, you come over here and, you know, I come to join these guys. I mean, Nick Tucker has it all, right? You know, he's got the ARCA team, he's got all this stuff, and the opportunity is there, and the opportunity in NASCAR. So, you know, in IndyCar, there's not seats. You know, you don't find the seats, where in NASCAR you do, and the opportunity is here. You know, it starts in Trans Am, and you kind of can build your way up, and there's still the manufacturer presence like Toyota. You know, I mean, these guys have helped so much, especially with this new body and what they're doing with the team. So, you know, you have that manufacturer presence to help as well. So I'm looking forward to just keep progressing up through the ranks and doing that kind of stuff. But, you know, it all starts here.